Hello, everybody, and welcome to our next class in our series, The Power Within. This class, just a heads up before we start, be aware that there's going to be the use of the F word and the S word. So if you have kids around you, I give you a heads up. I suggest that you put on some headphones. It's just easier to take the class in, that you find a place where you can be by yourself without any distractions, and pen, paper, or pencil, and a piece of paper, just so you can follow along with the class and write down anything important. This class is called WTF Are We Doing? What the fuck are we doing? And it seems like a huge, broad question, but the purpose of this class is to really look into why we are always in overdrive, why we are not connected to the inner compass, why we continue to overbook ourselves and overdo so many different things. And also to sort of look at pieces of the avatars or the characters that we've created about ourselves, of who we are, so we can fit in, which we have used as a substitute for belonging. Those two are completely separate. It's a quick class, so buckle up and we're going to dive right in. We are in a society of overstimulation, especially here in the United States. Constant movement, constant progress, constant where what we have labeled as success is working 75 hours a week, trying to accomplish things that don't necessarily need to be or get accomplished. If you were to start all over again from a perspective of somebody who does not need to be chasing a paycheck, you would not get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and try to squeeze 1,000 different things in before you make it into work, or work from 7 o'clock in the morning until 5 o'clock in the afternoon and try to pencil in 1,000 things after work. What you would do is you would start your mornings nice and slow. Get up, maybe if you're a morning person, you love the way that you wake up, and go about your day being more mindful. Instead, we're pre-programmed to get to places when we need to get to places. And if we don't get to places when we get to places, then we tap into this part of ourselves, which creates this massive anxiety. If I were to tell you that one of the most important things to do is to pencil in rest and taking breaks from being overstimulated in social events, you would probably roll your eyes. But that is one of the main purposes of this class, is to show you how life should be actually played out. So you're coming from fight or flight constantly every single day. You were probably raised by parents that told you that the more that you do, the more you accomplish, the more hours that you work, the more successful that you're going to be. Now, that is a catch-22. You can't sit on your couch and watch TV and expect millions of dollars to roll in. And you also can't just work 20 hours a week and expect your millions of dollars to roll in. You need to find balance in all things. And that is extremely difficult to do, but you start very slowly. A perfect example. From personal experience, I used to work 60 hours a week. I used to feel very overwhelmed, and I didn't spend much time at home with my children. I was physically with them, but I wasn't aware or mindful or in the present moment. Slowly, when you begin to find ways to nourish yourself and nourish your body, for example, finding time to exercise, finding time to take naps, finding time to take rest, finding time to take walks, finding time to pull back on overdoing too many hours, life begins to set into place where it needs to be set into place, and you start to get a clear mind. The reason why our minds become blocked and why we become sort of this cogwheel in a giant machine is from overstimulating situations, or situations that we create to try to overcompensate for the life that we're trying to live. Now, I get it. You have bills. And I get it. You also have things that you want to get. And I get it. All of those things require money. But money is a set of magnetism. You magnetize money. And the more rest that you get and the more clear-minded that you are, the more that you can come up with a plan of what to do next. We have created these avatars to fit in and compete with other people. But the word success has something to do with how much money you have. No, hold on a second. Just hear me out. with how much money you have, or how large your house is, or how shiny your car is. That is called burnout. Chasing something like that, chasing money, chasing success that is comparable to something tangible is exactly the point where you start to sort of fall apart. Overstimulated brain, overstimulated body, overstimulated anything at all on high levels of stress, you begin to release cortisol. Cortisol creates this disgusting chemical imbalance inside your body, and then you start to get to the borderline of disease. High levels of stress, anxiety, and anxiety hormones increase your heart rate, increase your blood pressure, and decrease your ability of your body regulating itself and just being cool, calm, and collected in situations that are highly irritable. So we become these balls of nerves that cannot think clearly, and then we enter a phase of unhealthiness, of fogged brains, of overstimulation, of being emotionally irritable at all times and angry because we are not fully satisfied. If we're to walk away from being overstimulated and really looking to the things that are triggering us, those are the things that are teaching us. Also, stepping away from being overstimulated with information on social media and on television also really, really, really works to connect your mind to your body. Now, this is not an overnight thing. This is a process of living life. In order to get a clear mind and set goals and be able to be financially successful, you must find time for introspective into yourself and canceling plans every fucking Friday night and every fucking Saturday night and every fucking Sunday night. Just because people want you to be outside, hanging out and doing things, it is not productive. Here we go with a quick list of ways that you can begin to get out of that mentality of fitting in and finding ways of belonging. That is another trigger for us in our bodies. We are trying really, really hard to love football, to be part of this fantasy football league without knowing what we're doing, spending money on things we don't want to be spending. Therefore, your energy is not being set in the place where you actually want it. So let's begin. We're going to connect our breath to our body. And once we're done connecting our breath to our body, I'm going to tell you several ways that you can get it together so you can begin to get to the relationships, the finances, and the jobs and the life that you actually want. We're going to begin with 6 breaths. We're going to breathe in through our nose and exhale through our mouth. Last class, we did box breathing. This class, we're just going to concentrate on breathing in really deeply and really exhaling really deeply, like as if you are releasing the tension inside your body. All right, you ready? Let's pay attention to where the tension in your body is. Is it in your forehead? Is it in your throat? Is it in your shoulders? Is it in your chest, belly? Wherever it is, pick up that breath from that centered area. Relax your shoulders, unclench your jaw. Release the tongue from the roof of your mouth. Taking a nice deep inhale where your ribcage expands outwards. You ready? And exhale. Like you mean it. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. 4 more times. If you feel lightheaded, you're doing it right. Let's do it 4 more times. You feel a little bit better? Feels like your weight has been lifted? Okay, perfect. We have bills. Find a financial advisor. Financial advisors are extremely important when trying to get your finances and your shit together when it comes to where your money is going. Start really looking at where your money is going. Make a list. Perfect way to try to analyze where your cash is being spent. Make a list that has on the left column bills and important things such as groceries and gas and water, heat. And make a list of things that are not quite important, such as alcohol. It's not. Going out on Friday, Saturday nights, it's not. Fantasy football, I mean, you do you, but it's not. Gambling, other things that are not important for everyday success. So make a list of where your finances are going, okay? Next step to making lists like that, you can make a list like that with when it comes to relationships. Why this relationship is not nourishing me, why this relationship is nourishing me. But that comes later in a different class. Another thing you bring awareness to is how you're spending your time every single day. What are you doing? If you work a 9 to 5, what do you do in the morning to get ready? Do you get up last minute and rush out the door? Or do you find a mindfulness, movement, meditation, yoga, exercise, or even just getting up slowly and setting affirmations or intentions? Intention of the day, how it's going to be unfolding. What do you do at 5 o'clock when you come home from work? Do you order pizza on your way home and eat it in the car? Do you go out to the bar and engage in social events that are not really feeding you? Another important thing to look at is if you want your life to change, if you look at other people who are entrepreneurs or creating new jobs or a new career that you're looking into or school, what are you doing every single day to get you closer to that goal, that ultimate goal of changing your career? The next piece, which is we're going to go into detail in the next class, is your relationships. Why are you with the current partner that you're with? Are they feeding you? Are they challenging you? Are they loving you unconditionally? Are they supporting your dreams? Are they with you on the days where you break down? Do you feel triggered by what they do? Why do you feel triggered? And also friendships. Just because you've known somebody for 35 years doesn't mean that you need to continue being friends with them. If they are not adding to your life or if they're putting you in situations that are not healthy, why are you continuing to connect to them? Now, that comes with fitting in. Fitting in is when we force ourselves to be in certain situations because we feel like we need to be there, because we're social butterflies. Naturally, human beings want to be surrounded by other human beings. But there's a huge difference between fitting in and belonging. When you belong, relationships are not forced. Relationships don't feel uncomfortable. And when they feel uncomfortable, you can be very transparent about having a conversation with certain people about certain things that are triggering to you. So we've covered, where does your money go? What are you doing every single day to reach the goals that you want to reach? 3, are you creating an avatar of yourself to fit in? And how would it be better if you just belonged? Now, the journey that you're in currently might feel really uncomfortable and you might feel stuck. When you begin to do these things, you're no longer going to feel stuck, but it's going to be slightly lonely for a little while. But there's a massive difference between lonely and alone. Again, next class on relationships, we're going to cover about the differences of loneliness and being alone. All right. Just to close and to add a little bit more spice to this class, these are just suggestions, but there is a reason why you're here watching this. You're here watching this because something in your mind and something in your life are just not fitting in. It is difficult to come up with decisions, clear-cut logical decisions, when your emotional mind is flapping around all over the place like a fish out of water, which happens when you're overstimulated and you're doing too much. Bring breath to your body. Bring breaks, bring time off, bring journaling, find a life mentor, Reiki practitioner, therapist, anything that you can to bring your logical mind and your emotional mind together, your conscious mind and your subconscious mind together. And side note, I am a huge, huge fan of balancing hard work and fun, travel, and being a social butterfly. But there has to be a balance in absolutely everything that you do. Also, the food that you are eating currently, if you're eating French fries from McDonald's and are questioning why you feel like absolute crap, I'm going to tell you, start with the French from McDonald's. And also, I am a big fan of eating things that are just gross and delicious. But there is a fine line between where you are right now and where you want to be. And all it is mindset. And the only way you can connect to mindset is by creating the space to take breaks and find and tap in to the power within. Thanks for being here, my friends. I will see you all soon.